the last week, we discussed about what is business communication and its importance. Moving forward in the same topic, today we are going to discuss types of business communication. So, there are many types of communication happening in any business. Sometimes somebody orders, sometimes somebody discusses, sometimes somebody submits something, so every time we have a different type of communication happening at a workplace, right? That's what we are going to discuss today. This is the agenda for this afternoon. So, there are many types of business communication, and we are going to take up few of them in the first half, and remaining 3 types will be discussed in the second half today itself. Alright, so have a look at the slide in front of you. It says we have one-way or two-way communication, we have verbal and non-verbal business communication, we have formal and informal business communication, we have upward, downward or lateral business communication, we have interpersonal and intrapersonal communication, and lastly the type we are going to discuss is the organizational business communication or mass communication, right? So these are the types, and this is the agenda for today itself. So friends, the first category, as I have shown you, is one way or two way. So one way, as the name suggests, the communication is happening either of the direction, right? So it's flowing down or it's going up, but in both the condition, the communication is happening only in one way, right? So what could be the possible example in this? For example, directors, they issue guidelines or directions to the team about any particular goal they have to achieve, or they issue direction how to reply to some of the complaints. Any directions issued by directors is basically only one way communication. So it's just flowing down. The information is not going in multi-direction, it's only from the top to the bottom. Same way, sometimes orders are received. So orders regarding transfers, order regarding change of project, change of team leader, change of timings, holiday, leave, any such thing. When this is just an order for this is kind of information flowing from the top to the bottom or to anybody who is in the subordinate, that is order. Again, that is one way, right? Why? The recipient is not given a chance to respond to it. It is expected that it is just been for information, right? Same way, we have commands. Commanders are there. We get commands in, this is the term which is used in military or in armed forces, right? Navy and all. So commands are also one of the example of one-way communication. So the question must be coming to your mind that is it only from the top to bottom? Is it also going to cover the bottom to top flow as well? Yes, it does, right? For example, you have been asked to submit an explanation for any disciplinary action which was taken against you, or there is a complaint against an employee. It could be sexual harassment, any discipline issue in any business, and the employee has been directed to submit the reply or explanation by XYZ date. So what is that? That particular communication is also one way. He is replying and he is just furnishing the desired information, right? Narrate an incident, narrate a explanation. So that is also one way communication. When to recipient and sender. If you remember the very first lecture in business communication, we discussed about all the possible people or channels in any communication. So we talked about sender and the recipient as well. So here the recipient has no intent to reply. So it is just only one way, because already then when it came as a direction to submit an answer to a query, that was a direction. You have been directed by the disciplinary committee to explain the event happened on 10th of May with your colleague, with your customer, with a supplier, or anybody at the workplace, right? So that was a direction, that was an order, and this happens. The example I am giving you a very common example. Now the person who has been directed is also submitting the reply, and he is furnishing the desired information, right? So that is his submission is also one way. The team is not supposed to be answering. It's not two-way communication. It is just one-way communication. Okay. Now the two-way communication, as the name suggests, is basically both recipient and sender are engaged. They both have the equal opportunity to respond to each other's message, to give the feedback, and to receive, to ask for the information. So in two-way communication, examples could be any email, right? So somebody is writing and the person has the right to answer. So somebody is seeking the feedback, person has right to answer, to submit the feedback. So there's a back and forth communication going on on email in most of the businesses. That is two-way communication. Meetings is another example. It's not always, I'm not talking about only the written communication. I'm talking about any kind of communication here. So even the meetings are a good example of two-way communication. Why? Let's say if a meeting of the production team is happening, right? So a production team may have fabricators, floormen, all those shop floormans, all those people are there in the meeting. So meeting is to plan or reschedule the production because of the electricity availability is less, or because of the reason there is a notice which came up from the pollution department that your plant is polluting more than what is. So you have to think of how to go with the production. No, it could be any agenda, right? In that meeting somebody is cheering. Of course a meeting is always being chaired by somebody. It could be production manager or the assistant production manager, and the rest of the team is there. But everybody has got equal chance to respond to the suggestions or the remarks made in the meeting. So meeting is a two-way communication, right? Somebody is saying, somebody is receiving, somebody is giving the feedback, then an answer is coming or question is, right? That's how it is two-way communication. Chats, another example. We always chat on WhatsApp, on SMS or any other medium. So even the chats are two-way communication. Nowadays, if I have to buy a policy of any insurance or any such medical insurance or any such thing, so generally we can chat. I have to buy a product, we have people helping us online. They are answering our queries online. What is that? That is a two-way communication. If you have to go to a company, you want to buy anything online, and most of the online retail shops have the facility. There is somebody as an assistant present there online throughout. The moment they see somebody is visiting the website, a message pops up. How can I help you? You must have experienced it, right? So that chat is also a two-way communication. Same is message, any kind of message on SMS we say, again is an example of two-way communication. So this was the first type of communication. Now coming to the second type, verbal and non-verbal communication. So friends, verbal, as the name suggests, is a communication where words are used, right? We use words. Word could be of any language. It could be Hindi, English, Punjabi, Marathi, French, any language, German. Okay, so we use words. Doesn't matter we are expressing it verbally or we are using it in writing. but important is words are there. So the verbal communication has words in it, and the non-verbal communication is where words are not used, any sign, any symbol, so where there are no words being used, any expression or gesture. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the verbal one, but I would like to put emphasis here on non-verbal communication. Why? Basically, this non-verbal communication is any information or emotion which is communicated in a way other than words. For example, if I show you a thumbs up, you performed very well. To my students, I was just passing by, I saw their project, I just show the thumbs up, which means I am encouraging them, I am complimenting them for their work, right? I did not say even a single word. Another example, if I nod like this is also a non-verbal communication. We nod like, we for times we deny, sorry, I can't do this. So instead of saying this, I said this is what? A non-verbal communication. I smile on any of your comment is simply, so I am, I'm not angry, I'm happy, whatever the comment you made, or you may have simply given me some compliment, I just smiled. So that is also a non-verbal communication. So friends, I would like to let you know a very important data. This has come from a research only. This is not from my own mind. That research says that 40% of the meaning of any message is vocal. 50% of the meaning of the message is facial expression, and remaining 10% is a verbal one, right? 10% of the meaning of any message is verbal. That means what? That means 90% of communication is non-verbal, right? It's a very, very important thing. As I said sometime in the past, that soft skills were very important, they will remain very important for the job market. You all who are working to seek employment, either your own work or you are seeking for a job, whichever way it could be, in all the condition, the data says 15 out of 20 jobs posted, they require good communication, good soft skills, right? So this is so much important. Within the communication, it's important to know that 90% of the communication we communicate with anyone, 90% of the meaning is drawn by non-verbal means. Only so 10% which has implications of words and all. So which means what you hear is the tone of the voice. You can make out from your father's tone, he may be saying yes for something, but the tone and the tenor or the texture of the voice is such that though he said yes, but it doesn't mean yes actually. You may have noticed this, dealing with your friends, your parents, your teachers, this happens. So the tone of voice, we hear tone of voice, we do not hear word first, we hear tone of voice. The vocal clarity, how clear was I to communicate a particular sentence or a word, right? And then the verbal expressiveness. All these things, they make about 40% of the message. So this is the vocal thing. So 40% of the message, how it is being interpreted by the other, is dependent on these things. What was the tone of voice when we were talking to somebody, or we were giving or sharing some information? The clarity of the voice, the vocal clarity, the verbal expressiveness, right? So these things form 40% of the total message, as I discussed. Then the remaining 50%, the other 50% message, is what we see and feel. What is that see and feel? That see and feel has basically non-verbal communication. So I will take one by one all of them now. So you may like to note it down. The first of all, the facial expression and the gesture. In a general principle of communication, we discuss 7 C's: concrete, completeness, cohesiveness. This was one of the 7 C's we discussed in the very first lecture on business communication. Just think about the facial expressions. We may not remember the word somebody used while dealing with you, but we will never forget the expression shown on the face, the smile, the angerness, the rudeness, the shyness, those things. Those are the facial expressions or the gestures which really leave a mark on your memory or on in somebody's experience. So the first non-verbal thing is the kind of facial expressions we carry. And I have seen there are people who are always having smile on their face. It has been always said, wear the jewelry of smile on your face. So people this is how people promote that how does smile make a difference. So I'm not promoting smile only. So your expression, overall expression on the face matters a lot in comprehending the message you are communicating, right? The recipient will comprehend it not only on the basis of the words you uttered or you wrote, right? The expression really, really matters. Same are the gestures. So gestures we show sometimes, people show very encouraging gestures. Sometimes people show very discouraging gestures. You, for example, you just are listening to some song, somebody is performing something in front of you. Let's say a student is performing in a song competition. Teachers are listening, friends are listening to the music, to the song. What kind of gestures we show? Do we clap? Do we hooray, hooting? All those are the gestures, right? So what kind of did we clap very loudly or slowly? Did we clap for long or for short? That makes, did we clap standing or did we clap only just sitting? That makes a difference. Just you can actually visualize it. There could be a competition where 10 performers were there. For one competitor or one participant, we clapped lightly. For the other participant, we really clapped for long, maybe for a minute, 2 minutes, and so. For the third participant, he really sang very well, and everybody stood and clapped. What does it mean? Nobody used even a single word. There was no word was expressed by anybody. Simply, this makes a difference in understanding. Participant will understand that yes, I have been given a standing ovation. I have been clapped. I have been clapped only for 1 second. I have been clapped for 30 seconds or 1 minute, right? So that is a gesture only. So the crowd is just clapping, and there could be a participant who could not perform well and nobody clapped, or only 30%, 20% of the present audience clapped for him or her. What does it mean? You are getting me, I hope, right? So that is also a communication between the person who is performing on the stage and the people who are audience. This is a two-way communication, right? So, but without using a single word, it's a gesture. Somebody, you must have seen on the gate of a restaurant where there is a guard standing, and he bows his head when you enter or you leave. He may not say a single word, and this could happen in a country where you do not understand any language. You are a foreigner, and he also knows that you may not understand his local language. He just bows his head. He just smiles. He just opens the door. So these are the gestures only, not even a single word being said or heard here. Right? You're getting me? Yes. So this was the first example. Now the dress and grooming also makes a difference, and it also is a part of messaging, is a part of communication. Without saying that I am from a very rich, influential family, if somebody is wearing or carrying a dress in a way, or groomed well, that communication, he or she will seek attention in the communication. Somebody who is very shabbily dressed, whatever the reason could be, right? Even that factor will play a role. So how somebody feels while to look at you when you are talking, or how somebody sees you as when you are presenting yourself, in a meeting, in a conversation, in a metro, you are just talking to somebody. So how you are dressed up and you are groomed, even that makes an impact or has a role to play in the communication, right? Your body postures also make, or they form part of your communication. So in non-verbal communication, your body posture is also one of the components, one of the factors. You would have seen many road rages incidences. You may have come across people are fighting on the road for anything. Somebody didn't allow somebody to overtake. You may overtake and then bring your car and stop in front of him or your scooter, right? And then you just start folding your arm, your shirt. Okay, I will see. So you did not say anything. You just stopped your car and you started folding your sleeves of your shirt. What does it mean? You are trying to tell the person, okay, I will see you. No, so you are trying to tell that without uttering a word, right? So sometimes we have seen the body posture is like that, that you are just leaned towards the chair. So if I'm sitting like this, it shows attention. If I'm sitting like with my eyes closed, that my body posture shows that I'm least interested. You are talking and I'm looking in this direction. What does it mean? My body posture shows I am not interested, right? So you are looking at me and I'm looking in that direction, which means my body posture tells you that, hey guy, I am not interested in the conversation you are making, or whatever you are presenting, I am not liking it, right? That's my body posture, that's communicating that. Eye contact is also important and is a important factor of the non-verbal communication. So sometimes we can make out from the eyes of the person who is talking to us, either the person is lying or true. He's truthful or he's lying, just by looking at the eyes of the person. Just think, recall. You may have done it for many times, but we may not have realized it. It is a non-verbal communication, right? That eye contact is also a part of communication, and it's a non-verbal communication. I'm looking straight in your eyes. I'm confident, right? I'm looking somewhere here. I'm shying, or I'm trying to conceal something. So we can actually, if we look at the complete face, body posture, eye contact, dressing, everything together, we can make some sense, how you can actually discount or give premium to the communication of the person who's communicating to you, right? Then the touch is also another part. We are, how are we touching if we are touching to somebody, how are we touching? Sometimes complaints come from a female colleague that the gentleman in his office touched him inappropriately. How does this come? because that she felt that the touch was not a friendly or gentle, or one should not be touching a female colleague or any even male colleague. That's not that's against the office etiquettes, but nevertheless, so one can feel if that touch was just normal touch without any bad intention or good intention, or what kind of touch it was. Sometimes if you are fighting on the road and you just touched on the you just pat on the back of his gentleman saying, okay, chalo jaane dijiye, chhod dijiye, sorry nahi kiya, without saying these things, you just touch it, okay, so that means okay, you are just ignoring it. How much space is there between the two people who are communicating? Even that plays a role. All these gestures, facial expression, dressing, body posture, eye contact, etc., they form 50% of the message. And friends, only 10% are words, right? So this is how the communication actually makes a difference. I hope you could gather that expressions, gestures, space, eye contact, touch, body postures, they are the medium of non-verbal communication. They all are actually medium. We are communicating without saying anything. So they become medium of non-verbal communication. Okay. The another type, the third type and the last type for this session we are going to take is the formal and informal communication. The formal communication is basically through official channel, right? Whereas the informal communication is unofficial channel, because we are talking as a part of business communication. So formal business communication is through proper official channel. There's an official email ID, you are using that. There's a phone which has been given to you, you are using that. There's a particular number, so you are communicating through that. Informal, you are using unofficial channel, right? You messaged to the wife of your colleague about the time of the meeting. That's an unofficial channel. Okay. Planned and systematic. Formal channel is always a planned one, it's a systematic one, whereas the informal communication is that cut across formal relationships, right? So in the formal, we know that I am communicating to somebody, I have to address him like this, I have to put my signatures at the bottom. It's a systematic way, right, of communicating. Informal could be across the formal relationships. Formal communication has always a specific goal or task in mind. I want to communicate the results of the project, I want to communicate the results of the meeting, whereas the informal communication is always individual goals and is need oriented. The formal communication is impersonal. So we do not engage as a person, we engage as an employee, as a colleague, whereas informal communication is personal and social. Formal communication is stable and rigid, whereas informal is flexible and unstable, and formal is slow, structured and authentic, whereas informal is little fast, unstructured and non-authentic. So this is the third type which we intend to discuss today. Remaining types will be discussed in the second half in today itself. So I really appreciate your time and attention, friends. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you.